Assalamu alaikum dear students, my name is Muhammad Asif and in this video lecture series we will be learning visual programming. Students, this is week number 4 and lecture number 6. In our previous lecture we have learned few topics in which include what are loops and how it will be implemented in C#. We have also learned the types of loop and the syntax for the for loop, while loop, do while loop, and at the end we have also learned for each loop. We have also learned the introduction about the nested loop and their syntax using for loop, while loop, do while loop. Inshallah, in today's lecture we will be learning few topics in which include arrays in C# and how they will be implemented within the C#.NET framework. Next, we will also learn the types of the array in which include one-dimensional array and multi-dimensional array, in which include two-dimensional array, three-dimensional array, and so on up to n-dimensional array. Okay, let's start our today's lecture. First, what is array? As we already knew that array is a data structure that contains a group of elements. We can also say that array is a linear data structure in which typically these elements are all of the same data type, such as integer or string. It means we will be having more than one elements within the array, and all these elements will be of same data type. Like if we declare in an array of integer type, so all the elements, all the values will be integer. But if we declare an array of a floating point, so all the values will be belongs to float data type. Next, array are used to store multiple values in a single variable instead of declaring separate variable for each value. Student, as you already know that how to declare the variables, and within a variable we can store only one value. If we require three values of integer type, we will declare three different variable and can store only one value. And to locate these three variables within the memory for the operating system is time consuming, and also it consumes number of memory locations, because within only 2 bytes it can store only one value of integer type. But using array, these two disadvantage will become the advantage within the array. First, we will be declaring one variable of integer type, and within this variable we will be storing number of elements, number of values of integer type. Secondly, to search or locate these values within the memory is very simple for the operating system, because it will locate only the first location, then the next location will be located easily because they are connected, they are contiguous with each other. Next, array are commonly used in computer programs to organize data, so that a related set of values can be easily sorted or searched easily. So again, this is the next advantage of the array. With the help of array, we can be easily sorted all these values and can also be searched easily. Next, we have a few types of the array, in which include the one-dimensional array, and the second is multi-dimensional array, in which include two-dimensional array, three-dimensional array, four-dimensional array, and up to n-dimensional array. It means within the C sharp, we can declare a 3-dimensional array, 4-dimensional array, and up to n-dimensional array. But first, we will be looking for the 1-dimensional array. 1-dimensional array can also be called as a single-dimensional array, or we can say it the linear array. Within 1-dimensional array, accessing its element involve a single subscript which can be either represent a row or a column index. So it means a single dimensional array will be represent either a row or in a column form. As shown in the figure, as you can see, we have a array of 5 elements, and these are the element. Each cell represents the element. Within the cell, we have a value of that element, and each cell represented by the address. For the first location, the address is always a 0. Then we have a next address is 1, then 2, 3, and 4. This is the name of the array, which is num. And to represent the first cell, we will be always using the index bracket. Within the index bracket, we will be having the address of the cell. So this is the 1-dimensional array which is represented in a row form. So how to declare the 1-dimensional array? Let's see the syntax. First we will be writing the data type, then the square brackets, then space, the name of the array, then the assignment operator, and the new keyword which is used to specify locations for the data for the array, then the data type, and square brackets. Within the square bracket, we will be having the size of the array, and at the end the semicolon. So this is the overall syntax that how to declare array within the C sharp. Let's see few example. If you want to declare the integer type array, we will be writing the int keyword, then the square brackets. Within the square bracket there will be nothing, then the name of the array, assignment operator, new keyword, and the square bracket, and within the square bracket we have the size of the array. So it means we have 5 elements this time, and new keyword is used to reserve these locations within the memory. Next example is the float. So we will be writing the data type float, then the square brackets, name of the array, assignment operator, new, and a square bracket. Within the square bracket, now we have 10 elements within the float array, then the character type array, and the string type of the array. So this is how we will be declaring the one-dimensional array. Now next, how to initialize these arrays. First we will be writing the integer type, let's say the data type, then the square brackets, then the name of the array using space, and the assignment operator, new keyword, and again the data type and the size of the array within the square brackets. So next we will be using the curly brackets and the semicolon. Within the curly brackets we will be assigning a values separated by the comma to each element within the array. So this time we have 5 elements. So first, within the first element we are storing 2, within the second element, or you can say it within the cell, the 3, within the third cell we are storing 10, and then 20 and 30. So the first cell address is 0, then 1 and 4. Next we have a string data type. So again The syntax is same. Now this time the size is different, and within the curly bracket we have a double colon because it is a data type of string. So double quotation will be used. Within the double quotation we have a value hello, then comma, then double quotation a and double quotation zyx. These are the three elements of string data type. Next we have a character data type of two elements. So if you are using character, so it means within the curly bracket we will be using single colon, comma, single colon and value. The colon is missing over here, but there is a colon. We can also declare of a float data type. Next, we can also initialize values like this. First writing the data type, then the square bracket and name of the array and the assignment operator. So if you can see, there is no new keyword or the size of the array. So you can also initialize like this using curly bracket and writing the values within the double bracket because it is a string type. So this time we have 4 values. So this array will be automatically of 4 elements. So we can also initialize one-dimensional array like this. Now, how to access these elements using, you can say it one by one or with the help of loop. So first, let's see if we have declared and initialized the array of one dimensional. So how it will be accessed? We can access one by one, mean we can be accessing each address or each value individually like this console.writeLine, and within the bracket we are using the car name of the function square bracket and 0. Within the square bracket we have the address of the first element. So the first Volvo value will be printed, as you can see the output. If we need this value to be printed, so we will be writing within the square bracket the address of this value, or you can say it the element. So the address is 2, so Ford will be printed and so on. So this is the one type of that how to access these elements. Second type is using a loop. You can also print all these values with the help of loop, that is for loop, while loop and do while loop, and also we have a for each loop. So let's see if we have initialized and declared some array and we are using to print these values with the help of for loop. So first we will be initializing from 0 because the first element is always start from the 0, so the index will be 0. Then I less than car dot length, mean cars dot length is the name of the array, and dot mean we are calling some function. So this is the function which is used to calculate the length of the array. So this time the length of the array is 4, so this loop will be iterated 4 times, and I plus plus mean incrementing. So again this time we are within the square bracket we are using I is the loop variable. So first time the loop variable represents 0, so the first value will be printed. When the I is incremented, the value will be 1, so the second value will be printed, and so on. So we can also print these values with the help of for each loop. Let's say how it will be printed, as we already discussed and learned the syntax of the for each loop. So students, I hope you have remember the for each loop. So this is the string type of array, that's why I represent the for each loop. Then the data type will be of a string type, and in is a keyword, car is the name of the array. So one by one element will be moved towards I and store within the I. Because car is a string type, So that's why values are stored within the loop of the for each. So it will also be declared as a string. If this array is of integer type, so the I will also be of integer type. If this loop is a float type, then this I will also be of float type. So when the first value is stored within the I, then we will be just printing the I. So first value will be printed. Second will be stored and shifted to I, then we are also printing the value of I. So there is no increment, there is no condition. It all depends on the array's element. If the elements are 4, this loop will be iterated 4 times. If the values, the elements are of 100, then this loop will be iterated 100 times, because one by one element will be shifted to this loop variable, and this loop variable will be printed one by one. We cannot change the iteration by ourselves. So next we have a multi-dimensional array. So multi-dimensional array represent 2-dimensional array, 3-dimensional array, and so on. So the simplest form of the multi-dimensional array is a 2-dimensional array, which is 2D, which represent in a row and column, or you can say the matrix form, or we can also call it as a table form. So if you can see, this is the example, this is the figure which represent the 2-dimensional array. Here we have a column and we have a row and column. So each row, each cell will represent 2 address, which we can call it the row and column. So this cell address is 0, 0. This cell address is 0, 1. And if you can see, this cell address is 2 and 2, because we have a row and column. So again, these are the elements of the array, which will be represented in a matrix form, or you can say the table form. Okay, next we have a multi-dimensional array, that how they will be declared, like 2-dimensional array, 3-dimensional array. So let's see the syntax. First we will be having data type, the square brackets, and row and column will be separated with the help of comma. Then the name of the array, assignment operator, new keyword, data type. Again the square brackets, first will represent row, comma, second will represent column. So this is the 2-dimensional array. Next we have a 3-dimensional array, data type, square brackets. Now first dimension, second dimension, and third dimension, and these dimension will be separated by the comma, space, name of the array, assignment operator, new keyword, data type, and square brackets. What are the sizes of these dimension? So first size, comma, second size, comma, third size of the dimension. Next we have a 4-dimension array, again data type, and because we have a 4-dimension, so first dimension, comma, second dimension, comma, third dimension, comma, and 4-dimension. Let's say name of the array, assignment operator, new keyword, and the data type. Separate the square brackets, within the square bracket, size of the first dimension, comma, second dimension, comma, third dimension, comma, and 4-dimension. So this is a 4-dimensional array, and so on. We can also declare the 5 dimension, 6 dimension, and up to n-dimensional array. But each dimension will be separated by comma. Now let's see the programming example, that how these multi-dimensional array, or you can say it a two-dimensional array, can be declared, second initialize, and how it will be printed. So now let's see. This is the 2-dimensional array. As you can see, there is only one comma, row and column, 3 rows and 3 columns of integer type. So we can also initialize the two-dimensional array like this: ARR square brackets 0 comma 1. So it means we are initializing the second cell of the matrix, because first is the row and this is the column address. So we are looking for the second cell. So we are initializing with a 10. Then array of 1 comma 2, it means first row and second column, and initialize by 20. Array 22 comma 0 means second row and first column, initialize with a 30. So we have just randomly initialized a few cells, or you can say the element within the two-dimensional array. So how it will be printed, or you can say how it will be traversed. So we will be using the nested loop. This time I am using a for loop. So I starting from 0 and less than 3. And again the nested loop, the next loop, j started from 0 and j up to 3, less than 3. And each element represents a row and column. That's why I have just written I comma j. So first time the I value will be 0 and j value will be 0. So the first cell value will be printed, or you can say it, the first element. So inshallah, in our practical class, we will be implementing these arrays. First the one-dimensional array, and then we will be also solving few example on a multi-dimensional array. So student, this is all about the arrays. What are arrays and how it will be declared, and what are the syntax. If you have any question, you may ask me on my email address, that is asif@northern.edu.pk. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.